Hello and welcome to Gaming on the Brain. Today we're going to play a little classic of mine which I had back in the day called USAAF Mustang. This is quite an obscure game. As you can see from what we're looking at the screen, it is actually very close to P47 Thunderbolt or P47 Freedom Fighter, depending on where you're from or what version you played. This game was very obscure though, but I found it way better. Great graphics on it, nice two-player option.
I remember this one now.
This is, well, you hated the Mega Drive version which I had and I liked.
Shocking.
But this game have got us to get the PCB just because I just loved the look of the Mega Drive game, and I was pleasantly surprised to see the arcade game is as nice as it looks. From 1990, remember, all that parallax. Look at that stunning parallax.
It's got about 5,000 layers of parallax.
But look at it, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening. Possibly the simplest horizontal shooter I've ever played in my life in its combat system, which we're going to show you now. I'll do a little bit of yapping as I always like to do while we do this. Let the little short intro play. This is not in the Mega Drive version. What the Mega Drive version does do, which I'll be compounded to throughout the playthrough, is it gives you like historical, in Japanese, which is quite anachronistic, historical sort of just a paragraph about like the battle that you're in, you know.
Right.
So you can't die by hitting the ground. So there's none of those nasty cliff faces that you've got in P47.
The bullet.
You have a machine gun. There's a guy with a little tractor there you can't kill, and you fire bombs out when you use your machine gun. You don't have a separate button.
Yeah.
The separate button, button 2, actually fires your very simple smart bomb. You've got a 3 power-up system. That's all you have. Nice and simple. Literally just pick up everything. What was interesting about Mustang is it tries to use historical. I mean, generally all World War II shooters do, but pretty historical like enemies and stuff. So you'll see tanks and planes and stuff that do look quite close to what they were meant to. There's a lot of prototypes here.
Right.
Like a lot of the bosses are actually based on vehicles or weapons, Mark, that were never actually used in the war. Like this is based on the birth of Krupp guns, you know. I mean, which is pretty crazy.
Right.
I mean, it's a shooter, you know. You don't have smart bombs like that in real life, you know. But like I say, Mustang's one of Mustang's most nicest features for me is the very good side back, the very good parallax, you know. I mean, parallax is excellent. Now this did carry over in the Mega Drive, which was nice, but it's very drab and washed out, and it's only one player only. The two games actually do have quite a few differences. Actually, here's the first boss. Look at the size of it. You know, I mean, look at this. I mean, it's exactly what you expect, you know, but you've nearly killed it when the wing goes on fire, so you know it'll go down in a bit. If you don't kill the bosses soon enough, they die. They actually die. This is the ME321 Gigant, I believe it's called. It's actually based on a real plane that I believe didn't see actual combat in World War II. So it's slightly interesting to someone who probably has glasses and an anorak, but it is interesting.
So basically, the best person to watch this video is a World
me.
War II enthusiast.
Yeah,
not a gamer.
so
If you're a
World War
gamer,
II.
just turn off now and tell your granddad.
Here's a funny thing though. Look at the background in this level. I mean, the background looks like a painting, as in it doesn't move, which is weird. Like you've gone from the parallax of the first level. Now in Fire Mustang, it's the Mega Drive version being renamed. In the Mega Drive version, this level, if I remember, it has parallax, and it's got shit in the water as well, like not actual floaters, but like bits of wreckage and planes and boats and shite, you know. And not shite. But as well, I was saying how the two versions are a bit different now. This game has this version here, USAAF Mustang, has 8 levels, while the Mega Drive only has 7. But there's differences in the bosses that you fight. All the enemies in the Mega Drive are all aerial-based enemies, so all different types of aircraft. And some of them a bit disappointing, really, because what it does is it reuses some of the sprites that you fight in the game as normal enemies and turns them into like boss variants, you know. And where the arcade game has some differences in that. Plus, this level, for instance, I'll not spoil the boss for Mark because you might not remember it. But the boss in the Mega Drive version of the game is a massive plane. It's not in this version. We are over the sea, Mark, so you can probably work it out a little bit.
Is it a train?
What was it? A train, you said? Yeah, it's a train.
It's a sub.
It's a big sub. So we'll get a big sub in this version instead, which is cool. Like, nice. See, you can fire your smart bomb anywhere on the screen, mate. It does damage regardless. It just because it fires out in front of you and isn't that big, it doesn't matter. You do get the urge to sort of go down and do it though, didn't you? You feel like you need to sort of. That's how quickly things go down, you know. It's not a big game.
Yet.
But
that was quite quick.
And as I say, going back to what I've just said as well, all the levels are completely open. There's no cliff faces or anything to crash into. It's just the enemies and the bullets. We're back to some nice parallax.
Remember you used to turn it up?
You what?
I remember you used to turn this music all the time.
This music?
Not necessarily just
this
level,
level,
but I remember it being like a very loud game when you.
The boss theme's quite ominous. The boss theme, I love using that word enough. The boss theme's quite ominous, like, so listen out for that. That's quite cool, actually. Like, just fits the theme.
Right.
But to say, I mean, I find this to be a much better game than the original P47. There is 2 years between them, because it's a bit more balanced and it's more responsive.
Is it the same developer? Is it?
It is. It's NMK. Right. Yeah, NMK developed both games, and Mark, I was saying before, UPL is the publisher of this, and UPL is actually Universal, which did Mr. Do back in the day. Mr. Do, remember that?
Oh yeah.
So they're not as obscure as you'd think, actually. But I think this game only came out in Japan and Korea. But it's they also did for Jellico. NMK created P47 Aces, which is an absolute stunner of a game. In fact, it's almost not exactly, but almost on par with Pro Gear, which obviously is a slightly later Capcom classic, which we'll definitely have to do for the channel one day. Pro Gear is a stunning game. I mean, I love that whole steampunk shooter, which is why like Steel Empire is probably one of my favourite horizontal scrolls of all time. Absolutely. Again, the context of the hardware as well. I mean, that is that CPS 2 or 3? 2. So compared to the Mega Drive, for Steel Empire, and I mean, Steel Empire is just fantastic. Great soundtrack as well.
Yeah, Steel Empire is great. Very good.
Now here's our boss.
Oh, I thought I'd go through that.
It's got like a really eagle too. But again, it's a big bomber, like the type you would have seen in 1942, 1943. When they're see how quick they go down, man, with smart bomb. Now again, going back to P47 didn't have smart bombs. So you had a bomb button, and you could pick up about 4 different types of power, I think it was.
Yeah.
And at least 2 of them are completely fucking useless. I mean, you've got like a spread missile, which is absolutely shite. So you tend to stick with just the regular sort of surface bombs, where in Mustang, the bombs is literally part of your basic arsenal. Like, you press a fire button and bombs come out, so it's a much more refined game, I think. And the only version that came out was a Mega Drive game. It is now available for the Switch, I believe, as well, and for various other download services.
What's that, like a Hamster Collection?
Yeah, Hamster. I think it might be. There's another game which is actually a vertical scroller, which we'd love to get to at some point, maybe when we've decided on that. Is Task Force Harrier.
Yeah.
Made by UPL again a Mega Drive version which has some differences. So there's a game maybe to look at. 2-player game as well, on the arcade at least.
Right. We'll start doing some vertical shooters soon.
Oh yeah, we've got our reasons at the minute, haven't we? We've still got the stuff like Carrier Air Wing and US Navy to get through for. US Navy? Carrier Air Wing? UN Squadron, sorry. US Navy's the name of Carrier Air Wing in Japan, I think, or UN Squadron. I'm using the Western titles, like.
It's quite hard to see the enemy bullets sometimes, man.
Yeah, you should see it on the Mega Drive, mate. Please. Like I say, it's great having smart bombs, P47 Aces are absolute beautiful game. Like, they've just recently 2 years ago, but it's not that long ago, released like an update to that game, which is in the arcades now.
Yeah,
it's a 4-player version. It's called P47 Aces 2, and it has upgrades to the original game. So I really want to try and put some time into that, if it's possible at some point. Another horizontal scroller by NMK is Hatcher Mecha Fighter, which looks to be a horizontal version of Mustang, but with a parodious element to it. So anyone who loves parodious and that, Twin B probably will want to give that game a shot. Yeah. Again, though, slightly more obscure games that could turn out to be like hidden gems, as opposed to being shite.
Ooh.
So now another interesting element now to Mustang, which actually carried over the Mega Drive version. The better you do, the harder it gets. So the less lives you lose and the less bombs you use, and the longer you stay powered up and that, the game gets nastier. Now, here's our first big tank enemy. There's two large tanks actually, which are vastly different from each other. So, and they go down in 3 seconds. But the second one's even cooler because there's a bit of history behind that one. They are actually named on the Mega Drive version, and they are historical vehicles. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So I quite like that stuff in shooters. I mean,
What year is this? 91.
1990 and 91 for the Mega Drive version.
It's not an ugly game, like.
Aye. I mean, where this wouldn't have done so well is it's extremely basic in its system. I mean, but sometimes do you really need strategy? I mean, at the end of the day, there's absolutely zero strategy to Mustang. I mean,
yeah,
you literally pick up everything you can because nothing works against you. You've got a very simple smart bomb that, I mean, there's stuff like Twin Hawk out there, which is another one of my favourites, which has a little bit of strategy to the smart bomb element of the game, as you know. Very interesting with the squadron. You know, and this game doesn't even bother with it like that. Just literally, no, bombs, bullets, fuck off, that's your lot. And it's all the better for it sometimes, you know. Nice sprites, you know.
I don't even know how I'm dying now. I'm just like falling to the floor dead because there's that much stuff happening around us.
Yeah, there's shit happening a lot. Like there's a lot of shit happening. It's way easier on the Mega Drive. Like,
does it get any easier in one player, or is it this hectic?
Do you know what it is, Mark? It's been that long ago since I played it. I actually don't know, but I don't think it does. There's a cool battleship level coming up as well, which is really well done. Way better than P47.
Right.
Just it looks better as well. Right, and this is not the boss that we're fighting here, but the fucking ball ache.
Balloons.
Who would have thought barrage balloons would be such a pain in the arse?
I know.
Right, I advise that you stay where I am.
Right.
You'll find out why in about 3 seconds.
Can I get that?
Or 5, or 7.
Ah. Okay.
Right, now this boss. Now keep watching. Oh, it's not done. It's not done.
Oh, right. Okay.
Now here's a little bit of. Still, yeah. There's the boss.
Oh.
Right, this is quite interesting. I like that Mustang did this.
Oh,
what you have is for some of the levels, you have like a boss plane, and you'll have like sort of lackeys. So you've killed the boss plane, the others die. The brown planes would keep coming, right, until you'd killed. Yep, there you go. Until now in the Mega Drive version.
You need to start.
Well, yeah, sure. In the Mega Drive version, mate, what happens is you fight different enemies. It's the same boss, but it's different sprites used. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we've already fought the planes that would have been used. So I thought that was a weird sort of bait and switch. Where that plane that you've just fought there, that plane is actually fought as the boss of level 1, if that makes sense. Not the big thing that you fight.
Yeah.
It's that plane instead. So they mix things around a little bit. So that's another reason why I found the when I finally picked up the arcade board, I found it pretty interesting. I'd never played this game in the arcade. I'd only like played it on the Mega Drive. And in fact, this was the first game. This was my first Super Gun game that I bought because I just was interested in the game at home. So I'd never played the arcade, and I was like, right, I bought the 3 or 4 boards I wanted for my collection.
Yeah.
I started picking up stuff that just sounded good, you know. So this was one of them. I can't remember. I think this might have been at the time. I remember getting Kajeki, but that was shit.
What?
Kajeki or Kajiki. It's a weird sort of fighting game by Taito.
I didn't know you had that.
I did for a while. Not back in the day. About 10 years ago, like after I moved out and that.
Ah, right.
I bought Street Smart and all about that time.
Right, okay.
This was back when I was just collecting boards for the sake of collecting them all. I went through that
actually
phase.
still got to work in Super Gun.
I haven't now. No, I sold the broken one a while back for 20 odd quid. There's just no point in it now. If I do buy if I buy any hardware now, it's just for collectible reasons. I just keep all them, like the Arcadia boards and that.
Yeah. Why we're fighting stingrays?
I don't know, but right now this boss, wait till it gets on screen properly.
Sod down, we're dropping.
I mean, obviously you can see it's clearly a tank, can't you?
Oh, is he flying?
Do you know what this is meant to be? This is meant to be the German mouse tank, which is like a prototype, a real life prototype, which never went into production. Now it was never. It's not this big in real life. It did exist. It did exist in like prototype form, but the actual tank was never this big, you know.
Yeah.
Although Germany did have a few things up the, few ideas up the sleeves for monster tanks.
Oh well, we just killed it anyway.
Anyway, there's your history lesson over. I'm sick of history.
Another boss down.
Your motor. You know why it's called your motor?
No.
You're gonna find out.
Oh, because it's
You're gonna find out, Mark.
Battleship.
Look. Now
Series of battleships.
This level here is on the Mega Drive version is longer, and it doesn't have a ship. It's got a massive plane again.
Oh,
So it does a way. So it's way more impressive in the arcade, clearly. But this is way better done than the ship on P47. I thought, you know, there's just more meat to it, you know. A lot more stuff to break and that, you know. So it looks pretty cool. Like, Mark
it's
just
quite
hit everything.
detailed, that. Like.
Hey?
It's quite detailed.
Yeah. Said that sort of pretty much really impressed me. This board, like when I bought it,
You shot me.
I played it long before we had name, you know. So
Yeah.
my first experience of Mustang was my PCB, which I bought from Raven Games back in the day.
Raven Games.
Just like in P47, the main target is the conning tower and that, so
Yeah.
it'll drift back over again like it did in that game. And
Did we knock out like?
hey,
Oh, it did?
no, you'll know if you've got it, mate. Believe us.
Alright, does it go boom?
It guns up, aye. Now, there's an extra level on this game that isn't in the home version, and I like it. I like what they do with it. Because like this is the last level in the Mega Drive, and it loops around. But it said you don't fight the ship, you fight another big plane. Yeah, so you know where you're hitting, don't you?
Yeah, I'm assuming this bit now that I'm hitting. Right, that's it. Oh, I was going to use it. Ooh, look at that. Mine.
There you go.
Oh, I
So-
was expecting it to like break in half and
It would have been cool, like it just come up and sunk down.
Yeah.
What game does that? Doesn't Pro Gear do that one of the bosses?
I think it does. Metal Gear.
P47
Metal
does,
Slug,
I think.
sorry, a lot of Metal Slug games do that with the ships. And
I think it looks class.
They're only little, like.
We're in Berlin, right? The final level of the game. Now, I will tell you now there is no final boss. What it is a boss rush, and it literally is. What happens is you take one boss down, another comes. If you don't take this boss down in time, guess what happens? Another boss comes. So it's quite cool. You don't fight every boss. Obviously, there's no ship or submarine clearly, but every other plane or tank-related enemy appears in this level. So Mark, just go hell for leather, mate.
Right. Well, I'm losing plenty of lives, so I keep getting
But again,
bombs.
having a little look there, doesn't this level remind you of level 5 on Steel Empire?
Yeah.
When you enter the city.
Aye.
Nice
Nice.
idea for last level. I thought, quite cool. You just it's more of a not just a boss rush, but would I call it a gauntlet? Really, just like a run until the level ends. You just go until the level ends and do as much damage as you can. Sometimes the level ends while there's a boss still on the screen, mate.
Right.
You just die.
I can't even get my bombs away before dying.
Another interesting thing about this I've noticed, because I obviously played it a lot back in the day, the bosses are completely random, mate. So you could, I don't think I've ever had the 2 tanks come on at once, but you could have 2 or 3 different aeroplane bosses, or a tank and an aeroplane boss. And there's about 3 different aerial bosses, I think, and there's the 2 tanks. So any of those 5 bosses can pop up. Like,
Right.
we haven't seen the level 3 boss yet, but that can pop up though. But it just might not this time. It might not for this playthrough.
Oh, I'd already killed him. So you literally just keep fighting boss after boss after boss.
Yeah,
till it
until it ends. Yeah. I said this level isn't in the Mega Drive version,
Maybe.
but I thought it was a canny cool idea. Obviously, again, arcade based, taking all your lives and making you continue like that. It just loops around, mate. Oh, there's no ending. I don't believe there is in the Mega Drive version actually. Sign of the times, really. Isn't it? Saying that though, it isn't, because a lot of games by 1990 did have endings, you know? Especially Capcom shooters, not, you know.
Oh, no, I'm getting crushed.
I picked up the bomb and died.
Sounds about right.
Well, I've enjoyed playing and talking about Mustang, because it's there you go. Now we're seeing the other tank boss instead of the. What sometimes happens is instead of the planes we're getting, you sometimes see that nasty level 3 boss come in as well. The 4-engine bomber from that one.
Yeah.
But it's just it just was a. I mean, yeah, you could call it a lazy take on a final level, but it's just a bit different from what I'm used to. Like I say, no final boss.
Oh.
There you go. Here we've got the level 3 boss coming in now for one. They stick to the exact patterns that you would have had when they attacked you earlier. I think we've seen every boss, haven't we? All 5 of them?
I think
Except obviously for the plane and the ship and the sub, like.
Tell you what, mine despite detection is terrible. Like the collision detection.
You are?
The collision detection's
It's
awful.
tight, isn't it? Very tight, where you just so much as you think you should avoid something and it pushes against. That could have been deliberate though in the development, couldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Probably was. So I love the crash animation though.
The hitbox is like 5 times the size of your plane.
The Mega Drive version was way easier. I remember on this last level just literally smart bomb and everything until you have to lose a credit to get. That might be it actually. There you go.
Hey!
we've finished
That's
US Air Force Mustang.
That's
Yeah.
it, I guess.
What do you think overall then?
It's alright, yeah. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, it's a nice little shooter. It's quite a short
fairly,
one as
fairly
well.
pretty in some areas.
Well, I see. I mean, I've always been. I love the graphics and the style, and there's not that many World War II shooters after the 1940 series, really. You know, so I prefer this to the original P-47. But obviously, we've got P-47 Aces coming up, so and that game will blow you away as it should do. And before we sign off, very recently I found out that there's actually a Mega Drive exclusive version of P-47, which wasn't released, but it's its own game. So it's getting re-released now. Obviously, in modern times now, it's getting re-released as P-47 2. So maybe that one to look out for when it comes out in a few months, if anyone's interested in sort of releases of old unreleased games, you know. So definitely give that a shot, buddy. But really enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.